Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 198. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and we are presented by DraftKings. We are recording this after the Brooklyn Nets defeat the Atlanta Hawks 114-113. Nets improved to 11-9 on the season, while the Knicks lost in the in-season tournament quarterfinals, I believe. I think that's what it was. I'm having fun here against the Milwaukee Bucks 146-122. The Knicks 12-8 on the season, as we basically turn the quarter mark here on the NBA season. Don't forget, everybody, if you want to check out the podcast, you can do it visually. Go ahead and check out YouTube. Give us a thumbs up there. And on Apple and Spotify, we're there for you. All other platforms, you know where you can find Bad Weather Fans. Alex, you said in our pre-production meeting I looked happy. Well, that's because I don't get to see many net wins like that. Usually they end in crushing fashion, especially versus the Hawks of late. So it was nice to get a win. Nets on a 2-game winning streak, and now 11-9 on the year.
Yeah, no, it was a close game, back and forth. I'm still recovering from that in-season tournament loss. I can't believe it. So distraught.
I can tell.
It's just the season is over. Oh wait, it's not, because it's not a real tournament. It's just,
well, I mean,
you know what? It's at least, I'm very, very sad for Josh Hart that he can't buy a $500,000 watch. I'm very, very disappointed. I'm also disappointed that, Julius Randle can't get another $500,000, on top of his big contracts. It's just it's disappointing, Mike. I'm really sad. I just want to talk about it for a little bit.
Let's talk about it. We will talk Nets because they did get a win, and I'm feeling giddy about it.
About that first.
No, we could go in-season tournament first with your condescending tone. No one had to say, like, it's not. I think there's this distinction that there's no shades of gray with this, that everybody has to either be like, this is the most important night of everybody's life, or it means nothing. Why can't, I've had multiple Knicks fans reach out to me who agree with me on this, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It was a little fun. It added some juice. Most games in December aren't this exciting. And away we go. It was something different and fun, and enjoying it, but it doesn't have to be. I think anybody that's extreme on this and is taking it serious, like, oh man, we didn't win the in-season tournament. I'm upset like it's the second round versus the Heat last year. I think that's silly. And then also at the same time, just saying how stupid it is, dumb it is, and putting up a tantrum.
Is that my voice?
At Nick
Is
Central.
that my voice?
Well, that's your Twitter voice. At Nick Central for your tantrums. I think that's an extreme too. Why can't it just be like, yeah, obviously it's no big. It's not a big deal that they lost. You care for your team in the scope of a season, of course. You want to win games.
Yep.
But why can't it be somewhere in between and just say, yeah, the in-season tournament has a little more juice. People are excited. These arenas are getting louder than they usually do, and it's fun.
See, but I don't agree with that. With the arenas are getting louder than usually do. I think the Pacers have been bad for so long, and upsetting the Celtics at home on national TV in a standalone game, that crowd would have been wild regardless. And that's proof, because the next night when the Knicks played the Bucks in Milwaukee, a team that just won a championship a couple of years ago, that has Dame, that's not worried about the in-season tournament. The game was the dud in the crowd. Like, there was empty seats. It was just like, everybody's like, the in-season tournament, okay, and then whatever. We got bigger goals. We got real goals.
Sure.
And that's the thing. It's just like everybody wanted to point to the Pacers crowd going so crazy because it was the in-season tournament. I just disagree, because a couple of years ago when the Knicks were coming up from nothing and they were playing big games at the Garden, and remember the opening night after the fourth seed championship, they, when they went to triple overtime, Fournier went off, like they were dancing in the streets, like they won the championship, the Knicks fans, the crowd was wild. Playoff atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's certain games are just going to get crowds wild, and an up and coming young team that's finally good because they added Obi Toppin, and beating the Celtics, is going to make the crowd go crazy. And that's just what it is. So
Yes, that I would say watching these on the whole, there seems to be more buzz in these games than the typical December game.
okay.
On the
Well,
whole,
let's
on
go
the
back
average.
to, all right, fine. On a whole,
Well,
it's all subjective though. We can't like argue. It's just a stupid,
I just think they're fun. I just think they're fun. And,
listen, you have
I
every right
keep,
to
and
have
I'm
the
not,
wrong opinion. It's up to you, man.
I'm
It's
not
all
going to sit here and like, it's hard for me to just sit here and argue and convince you that they're not a little bit more fun for people. I mean, clearly you're in the minority on the topic as people are enjoying
probably.
it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is what it is. You're just going
And
to
I
have
need
to sit there.
incentive. That's it. I just need incentive. Something that's a real season incentive.
Everything has to be about you. Maybe the incentive is just for the players. 500K, man.
Fuck, I
It has
care
to
about
be about
that.
you.
Give me 500K. I'll be into the game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well,
Like,
shit. Give me 500K. I might root for the. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I was so happy though about this.
The Nets
This
game.
net win tonight. Oh, it just
Yeah.
finally felt good to go and beat the fucking Hawks. I mean, the last game in Atlanta was 146 to 145 or
That was a
whatever
tough
it was.
loss. Tough
And it was a
loss. Yeah.
shot at the buzzer to win. And let's start with where credit is due. And that is for Mikal Bridges, who has been awesome. I mean, awesome of late. And he
Yep.
got off to a slow start and he wasn't playing that well. But of late, over the last 10 to 12 games, I mean, he has been a beast. He was one tonight as he scored 32 points, and they were impactful points. He had the go-ahead basket with 4.5 seconds left in the fourth quarter that gave the Nets the 1-point lead. He had a nice cut that he went to the basket when Dinwiddie fed him the ball, and he just did everything right. He's a
That was a great
tremendous
pass.
defender.
Yeah.
He is just a fierce competitor. And if you're watching Mikal Bridges right now, this is his best stretch of basketball with the Nets, and he has been awesome.
He has been amazing. Great first round pick for me in fantasy basketball. I'll just keep saying that every episode. And I thought about you at one point when I was watching this when DFS shoots up the air ball and then Trey hits the floater right back at him, and the Hawks are down, I think, 1 at that point, right? And I'm like, oh, Mike's probably like, oh fuck, we lost.
I think of every play,
every missed shot. And
oh my god.
But it just the end of that game was weird because Trey went for the 2-for-1. When it was quick and he had the wide open 15-foot, literally wide open. He made the move. He rushed it, but then he's just like, holy shit, I'm so open. and then he blew it. He choked. But then when he misses the free throw, and then it made a game. But at the end of the game, I did not like how Yes Network did not show the last Trae Young shot until the post game show.
Yeah,
I wanted to see if he was actually fouled because Quinn Snyder is losing his mind.
Yeah, he was.
And Trae Young was like, I don't think he hit him. I don't think he might have gotten a ball. I don't know. Bridges reached. It was Bridges, right? He reached in as he went forward.
Dennis Smith Jr. I think was on.
Was it
the
Smith?
one? Yeah,
whoever it was. I don't remember. But somebody
game.
reached in. He cut. Great. Trae Young cut through 2 guys. And he split the defenders and he had an open shot, but somebody hit it and really it affected the shot. But of course, Trae Young is going to take a dive because that's what he does. And he missed the shot. And then I wanted to see what happened and I couldn't see it. And I still don't know if he got fouled or not. So whatever, it doesn't matter.
I think Trae is a, what's the word? I wish I was smarter and could figure out the word I wanted to use here. No, I think he is
soft.
Something with his own circumstance. I'm trying to say no. He is notorious for the flops, not getting these calls. So I think when he puts himself in that last spot, it's like the boy who cried wolf a little bit, right? So when he's flailing his arms and moving around, he is kind of earned the reputation as somebody that likes to do those things, to flail his arms, flop, get the little booty shake in with the defender. So I think he loses the benefit of the doubt there a little bit, where other players might get it because there is essentially a bounty in a sense from refs to be like, don't call that. Right. So I think there's something to that where if he gives just a little bit, and in final calls, this. And this is my belief on this. And this is not just because there was no call here with the Nets. Unless it's really egregious, I don't love a little ticky tack on the final play. I think you got to let it go. I think you do call it differently at the end of games. That's just my belief. And I know what's going to happen in 2 weeks from tonight when the Nets play the Knicks and I don't get a call at the end of the game. I'm going to be losing my shit. So to be consistent, I won't be a hypocrite if that happens.
Like when the ball was dislodged, when it wasn't dislodged with the Kyrie
it was
and
the right call.
Randall.
It went. The NBA reviewed that thing, Alex, and it was
That's
the
still
right
bullshit.
call.
Yeah,
It was
it's
the
still
right. It was the
bullshit.
NBA reviewed. It was the right
There's
call.
no, the ball wasn't dislodged in my ass, but um, yeah, I hear you. And the refs don't want to make that call to decide a game,
Right.
in a 1-point game, especially if it's 2-point game. All right, they hit 2 free throws, they go to overtime. The game's not over. But you put Trae Young at the line, he's gonna hit the free throws. I mean, I know he didn't make them in that
other game.
The other game, but
2 weeks ago,
it's just it is what it is. They don't want to make that call, even with a home team call. So it's got to be obvious, and that's why I feel like in the ref even talk shit back to Trae Young. So after the game, he was like, "That didn't happen, man. It didn't. It wasn't a foul. Like he was just kind of like, bro, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It was kind of like looking at him like, all right, this game's over, man. Leave me alone. So, but whatever.
And I do want to give credit to BKN_says, which is shit Nets fans say, although it doesn't say shit. There's exclamation mark, which is the hardest word in the world to say. But he pointed out to me, and I saw this when the new celebration that Mikal and Dennis Smith Jr. will do at points is they almost look like they're typing with their hand. And I tweeted it out at Mike Delivers Pod. I think, and he noted this, I think he's telling Net fans to shut the fuck up, that we're saying I'm playing like shit. And I think that was his way of saying it. It was like the Julius Randle thing.
I was gonna say,
but a little less, obvious.
Not saying
but
it.
I do
actually.
believe that. I do believe that. And he has. I mean, he's been so good lately that there's nothing, Net fans can complain about. He's been spectacular.
Right. Mikal Bridges' way of doing it, and as you said, it was Dinwiddie with the Twitter fingers and like typing with one hand. That's a lot. Oh, DSJ is a lot smarter than what Julius Randle did, where he put the thumbs down and literally screamed at the top of his lungs, "Shut the fuck up! Don't cheer me! Shut the fuck up!" Or what Francisco Lindor and Baez did with the Mets with the thumbs down, and then admitting it. Both Randall and Baez and Lindor admitted it after their respective games of what they were doing, instead of just like saying, "No, it's the heat of the moment," whatever. Like they admitted it, like they snitched on themselves, So what Bridges is doing is a lot smarter. So,
and DSJ, by the way, has been awesome. His last 2 games back, he has played really, really good basketball. Especially now with, Lonnie Walker out for at least 7 games, 6 more to go. Who's been great off the bench, averaging 16 per game for the Nets. He is out with the hamstring injury. Unique contributions off the bench. They got it from your boy Day'Ron Sharpe, who had another 9.8 rebound game, I think, last I looked. Who's been a much improved backup big. And Alex, Nets are 11-9. They got Washington on Friday. They better not fuck that up, because that Hornet game pissed me off. And they're one back of your New York Knicks.
Yeah, 11-9 and time to shine. Right? Is that what we're going with? But
we're not. We're going with 11-9, and just one more dime, they'd be 12-8. That Hornet game still pissed me off. But hey, Nets winning basketball games that finally get one in Atlanta, and I said just one back of the Knicks, which is kind of wild.
What's funny? Day'Ron Sharpe, you said he scored 9 points tonight, so he has outscored 9 points tonight. That's it.
Let me double check, because last time he may have, I believe it was 9, but let me just double check, because I looked at some point in the fourth quarter, but he did get more run at the end. So let me just double check. I got you right. He finished, 8 points, 10 rebounds, and he did that. But he also 8 points, 10 rebounds in 19 minutes.
Wow,
a lot of rebounds for 19 minutes.
With his 8 points, he has outscored the last 3 games of Quentin Grimes, who has scored 0 in the last game, 4 points at Toronto, and then 0 versus Detroit. So
it's in his head now, and he said so much. He said it. I mean, he said it without saying it. He said it basically like every time he gets the ball, he wants to make the perfect play, and he's
isn't it amazing?
He's mentally shot.
Every year, there's a player like that on the Knicks. Every year, it's whether it's Fournier or Obi or Rose or some. It's always like
Alfred
Payton.
Mitchell
Robinson. It's Tibbs, but at the same time, Grimes has played like shit. And I even said it before the season, like he shouldn't be the unquestioned starter. Like, what are we doing? He's good and he's good defensively, but like start quickly. Like I've been saying it, or start DiVincenzo. He's been good as a spot starter. They say, oh, Grimes isn't scoring. That was the excuse from the Homer Knick fans that can't admit that something's going wrong with the team. It's like, oh, Grimes can't score because he's the fifth option, and then DiVincenzo comes in for Grimes when he hurts his wrist and he hits like 9 threes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, it's just it probably wasn't 9, but you know what I'm
I know what you're
exaggerating.
saying.
He had
I
a
know
lot
what
of 3-pointers.
I get
Okay,
you.
don't kill me. And so it's just it's a joke already. Just reduce his role, put him on the bench. You know, let him earn his minutes back. I'm not saying send him to China. I'm just saying like he needs to come out of the starting lineup, give him 5 to 10 minutes, and let him just relax, take the pressure off, and work your way back here, man. You don't suck this bad.
It was funny, like when you pointed this out on the internet,
On the interweb.
when you were talking about just the fear of dealing young players for Donovan Mitchell, and it's like, well, Obi's gone, Grimes has been shit, you know,
Right. Quickly's the only one. Yeah.
right, but okay, fair. But if I said a package of Quickly, Grimes, Obi,
And 4 picks and 2 protected. Yeah.
you like Quickly, and I
Right.
respect that. You love Quickly, but you would deal him for Donovan Mitchell.
Right. Correct.
Like Net fans that are and Cam Thomas had a bad game tonight, his worst game of the season.
Mhm.
They still won, which was good to see. But some Net fans are like, oh, you can't deal Cam for Donovan Mitchell. Look at that. I was like, you got it. Come on, guys.
Right.
I'm not saying you're trading Cam Thomas or think about it, but when the superstar's coming back, you gotta. There is truth to when they're on your team, you just see things differently. There's no doubt about that.
It's true. You really overrate your own players.
Oh, absolutely. And nobody does it better than your fan base.
I don't know. I think Mets fans are pretty good at overrating their own prospects.
Yes.
Overall, every team does it, man. It really is. We only focus on our own teams here in New York because we know like the ins and outs of both fan bases. But I'm sure in other markets, like the Grizzlies are overrating certain players and like things like that.
I'll say
John Morant's pretty good though.
I'll say this, and now my uncle doesn't play fantasy football, or excuse me, doesn't. This first year playing fantasy football, and he was like, he's a Steeler fan.
Okay.
He doesn't understand fantasy football, but before the year, he was like, I'm taking Kenny Pickett with my first pick.
First pick?
And he's like, he's gonna have a breakout year. I love this guy.
Like, just wait the last pick.
I was like, Uncle David. But my point to you is he was like, Kenny Pickett's gonna be the guy. And you see what happened with the Steelers.
That's hurt.
It's awful. He's hurt now.
Yeah.
But he has not been the guy.
He's regressed. Yeah.
He's regressed. Yeah. Year 1, beginning of the year. I'm not even gonna continue.
Inside Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing that. It's interesting though with the Knicks.
What was the point? What was the point though with Uncle David?
Well, the point I was trying to make is he thought Kenny Pickett is this unbelievable player because that's how fans see their own
fans
guys.
Think. Okay.
And obviously Kenny Pickett, I thought he'd be better than this.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done nothing, and he's been a very big disappointment for the Steelers, who, like the Jets, have a good team, just missing a quarterback.
Well, we're not overrating Zach Wilson. Yeah,
no. So
it's amazing. It's just the whole Jets thing. I don't want to get into it. We'll waste too much time on that, but it's just amazing.
We'll do it in a minute. My one more Nick point from me.
And then I want to get into this game that I have for you, a Knicks poll question game.
Okay, and I haven't looked. Yes. I have no idea. You can play it in a second.
Yeah,
Knicks in the previous years, especially last year, when the Knicks started winning games, it really bugged me because I saw them getting good. Now it's like, not granted. I didn't want them to beat the Bucks and go 13-7 and advance to Vegas. More go 13-7. So I was happy to see them lose. But it's almost like I know that the Knicks are a good basketball team.
Correct.
Now, I don't want them to be 60-20, 60-22 and get the 1 seed. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of know they're going to be in between 46 and 52 games, 47 and 50 games, and they're going to play somebody in the first round. It's going to be the Heat or the Sixers or the Pacers.
Or the Nets.
Probably not. And I know that's coming. So I'm like, I don't take the Knick wins. I'm not as upset about it because I know we're just they're going to get there, and I kind of have accepted it, and it's not bothering me as much because I know it's about what happens at the playoffs. So
That's
from your end, from your end, you see it's like we both see it on the different eyes of it because You're probably not as upset about the losses as I'm upset about the wins.
Right. Because the Knicks have plateaued. We've been talking about it on the show. The Knicks have plateaued. They were ascending up the mountain.
But
And
they
now
can,
they're kind of plateaued. They're upper mid,
but they
and they
can
kind of
ascend.
plateaued.
But they can ascend when the playoffs start.
They can. And they also could make a move. They didn't make any moves in the offseason. They got rid of Obi and they picked up DiVincenzo. I mean, it's kind of a lateral move. Maybe a little better. DiVincenzo maybe a little better right now. But who knows about the future? But
I think it better fits.
fair.
So I think it's well, I would disagree with you that maybe talent level, but I would say fit wise, you have an all NBA player in Julius Randle who was going to get the minutes.
Right.
So DiVincenzo as a shooter just makes more sense in what the Knicks lacked.
But now you created a hole without having another big power forward off the bench. But at the end of the day, it's
but
really
your second best player is your power forward.
Right. So you're not going to get many minutes. Who gets 40 minutes a night?
And he's going to play. So it doesn't even matter. If Obi was on the team right now, it would be the same bullshit. So it wouldn't even matter. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
I don't even remember what I was saying. What was I saying?
You were talking about the plateauing, the mid tier, the mid.
Yes. Yeah, they're upper mid. But they're not ascending anymore. They're kind of at plateau. Like the Nets are exciting for you because they're sort of ascending, and you haven't seen where this team can go. Like you kind of know in the back of your mind, but you're like, hey, you never know. Maybe Bridges takes this major step when the playoffs come, and they're a very likable team. Like the Knicks are just kind of like, they're upper mid. Likable. They're going to beat the bad teams, lose to the good teams, maybe pick off a good team here and there, and be a top 4, 5, 6 team, and that's it. And then what's going to happen? And it's a waste of time. This whole season's a waste of time.
No, see,
it'll be fun, and hey, I get excited. Playoffs are here, but it's just like at the end of the day, it's just like, are they going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? Even if they do, what's going to happen then? They're not going to win. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just
crazy.
I hope they do. But can you see the Knicks winning the championship? Of course not.
I've seen your AI message the images. So yeah, I guess I know what it looks. I know what the parade looks like.
The parade, yeah,
looks like hell. Looks like hell came to New York. Just planted its ass in Midtown. That's what it looks like.
All right. So speaking of hell coming to New York, so speaking of fans overrating their own players, so there was a story that came out today with Shams that put it out, or Shams. What is it, Shams or Shams? I never know. Who cares?
Shams Charania, I believe.
Shams Charania. And so basically he didn't basically say it. Oh man, my thing is not loading. There it goes. The New York Knicks are damn, I can't speak. The New York Knicks are monitoring the marketplace. They want to see if there's a star player that's available. Stop me if you heard this one before.
I have. Shut up.
Every year. So it's just to me, this is just the typical Leon Rose collecting picks, kicking the can down the road, getting a star ready for the trade, and then saying, nah, we're not going to do it. Or there's a trade, might be on the table, and we're not going to give up the picks for the guy, because he knows once he makes the big trade, then the clock really starts on his tenure. Right now, he's making the playoffs. He's good.
Can I ask you a question?
But there's no mandate for him right now.
You think that he purposely doesn't want to make a big deal because he knows that he can just sort of, let me backtrack a little too, because the previous regimes were so bad and the Knicks had nothing, just an abyss of disaster. So now he's added stability, and this team is clearly a playoff team, clearly the better half of the Eastern Conference, not the elite part, but the better half
upper
of the
mid.
Upper mid, as you call it. That you think that he is scared to pull a trade because he knows he's in a safe zone.
Yes.
That if he were to make a deal to get another guy and go all in and say, we're all in. If it works, I'm a legend here, right? Because I brought a title back to New York. But if I don't and it blows up, I'm out of here. You think he's scared to make a big move because he's just feels happy and secure with the job he's done and doesn't feel the urgency to make a trade because of his job security?
I don't think it's scared. I think that's too far of a word to describe it. I think he's just very, very passive because he knows he has job security, because he has all these picks. He has all these players. He's got, a team that's winning. He's got a good coach. He's got a solid foundation, and he's putting butts in the seats. They're getting to the playoffs every year. They're turning the reputation of the franchise around. He knows he doesn't have to make that big move, because if he does, then the clock really starts. If he made that Donovan Mitchell trade last year, and then the Knicks top out at the second round anyway, even though we wouldn't know what this future would have been if they, whatever, Back to the Future, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
If they, if he makes that trade and they top out of the second round after he went all in, then he's getting killed. And then he might be fired in a year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't make that trade, you're here. And now there's still no pressure. It's like, well, we're waiting for the right move. We're waiting for the right guy to shake loose, the right franchise-changing star to make that move. It's got to be the right player. It's just, who the fuck is the guy?
And as much as people shit on Sean Marks, when the Nets had their very good season where they, went to the first round, they lost to the Sixers in 5. That next offseason, they essentially added Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant for nothing. They lost D'Angelo Russell, but they didn't make it wasn't like they had to trade 5. They didn't leave any assets.
That was the beauty of that offseason. Yeah.
They just added them. Now, did it work? No. Was it a disaster? Yes. Did it have some moments of joy? A few. But at least they went in and he made the moves and he did it.
And he only kept his job because of the outstanding craziness of that era, that it wasn't his fault that it didn't even work out. You know what I mean? He made some mistakes, but yes. Ultimately Kyrie torpedoed the franchise.
Well, and there's a lot of people that believe he was the mistake, him and ownership. And that's that's a whole
they're delusional.
The Kyrie versus Mark Tsai conversation of giving him everything that he wanted in all power. Yeah. But yeah, you see now Mark's back to being like where he was before. That's our 11-9. The Durant trade was a good trade.
Getting Bridges was amazing.
And they have 4 Suns picks coming. Right. 1 swap, 3 unprotected Suns picks coming back. So
and they're not going to be good forever with Durant as old. You know what I mean?
I mean, realistically, when you're trading Durant, getting Cam Johnson and getting Mikal and all those picks is probably as good as he could have. It ended up working out. I would say I'd rather have Mikal Bridges than Jaylen Brown if I had to pick between the two to start my franchise. And
you got Dorian Finney-Smith for Kyrie, right? With Dinwiddie.
And Dinwiddie, and then the unprotected, 20 whatever pick. So yeah, I mean
Finney-Smith is a good solid rotation player. Yeah, he's a really good winner, Yeah,
he's a good player. Play hard, man. We're back to playing hard.
Anyway, back to the Nets. So
back to
the culture.
The original, to your original point about
overrating players.
And where you're coming from.
Okay. So then I did a poll question. I just want to know what some Knicks fans are thinking, since now the company line from the company men, the Knicks company men, like the Anthony MSGs of the world and Triple M, people that are just like, it's a joke. And it's just like people who are just
a company guy.
He's turning it to one.
Really?
He's in that Knicks commercial. You ever see that Knicks ticket commercial with CP?
Wow.
When he comes up in the beginning, he's in the back of him. If you look over his left shoulder, CP's left shoulder, there's Triple M standing right there cheering.
Any Knick propaganda goes right to my trash.
It's a commercial on TV, though. You never watch TV and see.
I throw my TV away. Anything I see this Knick stuff on here.
You're like that guy, that kid in the video who breaks the TV, throws it on the floor, a Knicks commercial. Ah!
Could you imagine if I did that? If my wife came down and was like, "What happened to the TV?" Saw Triple M on TV. She'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Not even Knicks. It was Triple M that did it. Yeah.
Piece of
this motherfucker.
Pooper.
So anyway,
all right.
So the company line now is that, they have to trade for a star, and they're waiting to trade for the right star, or what stars are really out there, and these are the stories that are coming out there to defend the organization. And so I put out a poll question. I said, Knicks fans. Oh, and Mike, by the way, I want you to respond to the answers I get to this with if you were that team. So you'll see what I'm saying.
These are trades.
Knicks fans. I probably should have read the poll question first, right? Okay, so anyway, Knicks fans, for argument's sake, let's say a top quote unquote franchise changing superstar, because that's what fans have been saying. The Knicks are waiting for that. One of them becomes available on the Luka, Giannis, Jokic, let's say Embiid level, right? The top tier comes available. While excluding Jalen Brunson from a deal, did the Knicks even have enough assets to acquire the franchise changing superstar? Comment with your offer. Yes or no? Obviously, yes won 72%, right? So you didn't even have to guess that. Yes won by landslide. You know, so here are some of the responses. And Mike, you are going to play the other team. Let's say you're the Denver Mavericks of Milwaukee, right? That play in Philadelphia sometimes. Okay. So you're responding to them. Okay. Where are we at? Where's the bookmarks? And I pulled the plug out of my mic right as I'm getting ready to read that. That's great. Man. Okay. So first one, we have JC, capital C, as I cough. Also, by the way, guys,
killing it.
He's at Babernathy03.
Okay.
So Mike, Grimes, Barrett, pick swaps, 3 firsts and 3 seconds for Luka, Atenta, Jokic, Embiid.
I don't think that's enough.
Okay, that's not enough. Okay, Mike, next one. Our president, Dolan J. Trump, at Dolan _J _Trump.
Yeah.
Randall, IQ, Fournier, and several picks should be able to bring back a star and their salary dump. Is that enough, Mike?
That's getting there.
Getting there. Oh, okay. Okay.
It's more, I just don't think. It's never. The truth is, it's never enough to trade a superstar away, right? Like you're never going to get a fair trade in return. And I said about 3 minutes and 12 seconds ago, or maybe a little bit more, that the Nets made a good deal when they got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, all the picks for Kevin Durant. So that worked. So, I guess it's like, well, what is? Rand, like, probably you're getting hotter. That might be enough.
Okay, interesting.
That might be enough. But none of those guys are going to ever be available. It's never going to be equal in a deal back. But
no, that's the point. Is that there isn't the guy there?
I guess my fear would be like, does another team have more to offer? Say what that deal was again. Quickly, Randall
from Dolan, right? Dolan J. Trump.
Yeah.
Randall, IQ, so quickly, Fournier, and several picks should be able to bring back a star and their salary dump.
All right, so Fournier is nothing. So you're basically saying Randall and IQ and draft picks.
Yeah.
If now the only one I think would be ever realistic as a possibility.
You got to throw Barrett in there though. You would think
is Embiid because he's the one guy that we don't know about possibly long term.
Right.
Giannis still is signed. The other guys, I guess maybe Luka at some point. You never know, but I think the Joker's stable.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks need. I think you're on the right track, Dolan. J. Trump. Bizarre sequence. But it's missing what is it? I think you need like 4 unprotected picks. And then maybe you could do it. I think that could do it. But you got to really ship them off. I think that might be able to do it.
All right. So how about Tim's suggestion? I got the tickle in my throat right now. Tim at Tim171023. For Luka, I'm offering Randall, Barrett, IQ, and 5 firsts. Is that enough for Luka?
That's probably enough. That's
really?
Probably enough.
Okay.
What else? Realistically, like you're giving away everybody. Here's the funny part.
You're keeping Mitchell Robinson though. That's the thing. So you're keeping The key is to keep Brunson and Robinson, and then put somebody else in between that.
You're the 20 Mavs.
Oh man. Okay, so we have a little more. HJ, first of his name, at yes, it's with a Z, me, damn it. You never get full value for a star.
Right.
Grimes, quickly, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, 4 first-round picks and 2 swaps. Is that enough for any of the top tier stars?
I think that's an Embiid conversation starter. Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That is.
I mean, you
It
look
is.
at the deal. You go, okay, Fournier's just for salary. That's nothing. Yeah, that's probably enough. You giving all that away. I mean, yeah, it's you're just gonna have to sell your soul with the picks.
For Luca, I do it. Not for Embiid. I
Just
mean, and I think there's more politics in play there with it, with Philly to New York, same division conference.
yeah, no, I know.
You can't end up with Julius Randle after you had like one of the best players in the NBA.
Hey, Julius had a he's
Sure.
he was player of the week.
And a loss. Yes. 40 points and a million, shots in a row and whatever. Okay. Hot Rod at R Dean 617.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. We may have a core here with the Villanova boys. You have to be strategic. Mitch can be part with he's a great rebounder, but not against top centers. Fournier, McBride, a 90% of your bench we have to move. I'm keeping Brunson, Randall, RJ, IQ, and Hartenstein, and Hart and DiVincenzo as well. So then trading Grimes, Fournier, Jericho Sims. That's the
I see that deal. I think the Bucks do. I could see them making that move and giving up Giannis. That package I could see.
We'll even throw in Thanasis, right? We'll throw him into
no. Well, yeah, he goes where Giannis goes. By the way, the Villanova boys thing is so like
because you don't like it because
No.
Mikal's next. Mikal's next. That's why you don't like it.
No, you know why I don't like it? Because it's like the 25, 26-year-old that's out of college, that's still living with his buddies, and they're just living in the past.
Man,
Mikal, by the way, he's like, I'm out of that world. I don't have to be associated with my college life. He's moved on to the professional world, and he's not living in the past. He's not living in the past. He's living in the present.
Mikal Bridges is
the
like
Brooklyn way.
To make a Long Island reference, Mikal Bridges is like the guy who stayed home in Long Island, and then all his boys went to work in the city, and he works in Long Island. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like
staying at his parents' house and saving money.
Exactly.
God,
Okay,
he's been so good. He's been so good. You got more?
Yes.
Knicks all day. Really choking you up.
Yeah, I've been coughing a lot. You can't hear it
some
because
water?
I'm executing the cough button.
You have any water?
I have a water. Yeah.
You want to borrow some of mine?
There it is. Okay, Knicks all day. I'm like sitting over the heater, so I think it's making my throat dry. Knicks all day at Knicks all day 69. Randall, RJ, Mitch, IQ, and 4 firsts should get it done.
Is there really a need to put 69 at the? I mean, what are we like? Knicks all day 69. I mean, so you're thinking of the Knicks all day, and then you're thinking of fellatio trading. I mean, come on,
fellatio trading.
Like Knicks, like that'd be like, well, what's your screen name? Oh, I love the Nets. Like anal. Like what? It's just come on. Anyway, what was the question? I couldn't focus.
Randall, RJ, Mitch, IQ, and 4 firsts. That's his
whatever. Sure.
Okay. Speaking of 69, Coonies at Kunal ____. Randall, RJ, Grimes, 3 of our first. Thomas Joseph Thibodeau Jr. as a sweetener.
Say it again. I was just thinking of Cooney
69.
No,
Cooney 69. Okay.
Texting.
Randall, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, 3 of our firsts, and Thomas Joseph Thibodeau Jr. as a sweetener.
It needs more. I think the picks are more exciting than.
Yeah, you need more picks. I agree.
Yeah, because then if you're the Sixers, I mean, you'll be. I guess you're Tyrese Maxey, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm. So you're basically gutting the team.
You're basically
like,
the Knicks.
Yeah. So now I'll do 2 more because I want to just like getting to a point here because
please.
So G Money at the real G Money 76, not the fake G Money, the real G Money 76. My only untouchables are Brunson, RJ, and Mitch. Everyone else is on the table. So I'm assuming he doesn't care about picks. So Brunson, RJ, and Mitch are not in the deal. Everybody else can go. So basically you're saying Randall, Grimes, quickly, everyone. I mean, I don't, whatever. And then one more at 9, Fios, Barrett or Randall, Grimes, Deuce, and 4 unprotected first. So basically what it comes down to is that the Knicks do have enough to get a star, you would think, according to Mike Biseglia at Mike Delivers Pod.
I think they do.
If they're willing to pony up half the team and their best players. And I got to be honest, if you're getting a guy at the top level, let's say you're getting Luka, who could be a realistic target. Embiid, I don't think is realistic because of the location. Giannis is going nowhere. Joker's going nowhere. Or Jokic, not Jokic. Jokic. Okay, everybody. And I don't think the next tier, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, those guys, you guys all know the story about that. But the top tier guys, you're gonna have to give up Randall and RJ Barrett if you want to keep Brunson. The point is to keep Brunson, and I would keep Mitchell Robinson just because that kind of center who can just play defense, block every shot, like he doesn't grow on trees. It's not that hard to find, but it's good. It's your guy. Just keep him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to trade him, and then you have Brunson, who's a star point guard, and you add somebody in the middle, and then you build shooters around those guys. You know what I mean? That's it. So I that's the bottom line. I don't think you can get a top star without trading RJ Barrett. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, Barrett's had a weird season because
He's had a couple.
It's been kind of up and down. Is this Barrett's 5th year?
Yeah.
Or 4th?
19. Yeah. With Zion and,
I mean, I think you're kind of, he is what he is.
Not 5th year, 4th. Yeah. 5th year. Yep.
And he has moments, but he's just so inconsistent on all of it. Yeah. The Knicks, I could see you having to part with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, why even? I mean, like, to me, Randall, obviously, like, who cares?
Right.
That kind of guy back. You just do it.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta get it done at that point.
But those guys aren't. I mean, it's still a little bit of, and you have a sleeping giant in the borough over that has a track record of pulling off these deals. And this is why, everybody shat on me for this, and maybe the timeline would have changed. But man, if Dame was with this Nets team, fuck.
I thought you were gonna say Ben Simmons.
No, Ben Simmons. Stop it. But if
you forgot he existed,
if you had Dame paired with Mikal, and you can see this, Nets would be scary. But I know everybody. Can't trade it. The timeline. He's too old. He doesn't fit the scale. Everybody freaked out too with Dame's bad start.
They're gonna be fine.
The guy was in a new city for the first time. He's playing with the best players.
Just got divorced.
He just got divorced, which
is a big deal.
Real life shit.
Right. He's moving for the first time in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Something. How long was in Portland? I don't even know how long. It's just like at least 15
I mean,
years.
He should have been with the Nets originally, but they decided to trade Gerald Wallace that unprotected pick. That didn't work out.
Yeah. Gerald Wallace. Crash.
I just love how well Dennis Smith Jr. has played. Just because every time he plays, I think of you now. Every time he makes a basket, he's been solid.
He's a Knick.
He's been solid. He's just been solid for them. Which is great. Nets 11-9, Hawks 9-11. I said before, Alex, let me just get you the Nets schedule, because thank the good gods they didn't make the in-season tournament. They get the win in Atlanta. That was one of the games that was allotted to them because they didn't make it. And then
lucky
next
Knicks,
game,
they get to play the Celtics on the road and the Bucks on the road. Yeah, an extra time.
Nets get the Wizards at home, which of course they'll lose. That Hornet game still pissed me off. The Wizards have been one of the. By the
way, finally, breaking news: Juan Soto is officially on the New York Yankees.
Okay.
So just so you know, all day that was going on. It was like Andy Martino, like, well, there's momentum.
Yeah, it tipped. Let me read you the Nets schedule coming up, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the Jets, and then we'll end the show.
Yeah, go.
So Wizards home, and then they have the road trip from hell at Kings, at Suns, at Nuggets, at Warriors.
Ouch.
At Jazz. Home for the Knicks.
Oof. No. Yeah, so you better win that Jazz game. Say that.
That's why they got to compile these wins now, because you know what it's like when you go on the road.
Right.
That's
you're going to pick someone off. You know what I mean? You're not going to go for,
Yeah, you never know.
You got to beat the Jazz, and you got to beat one of those 4, and then you can come home with what is it? It was 5, right? So
if you go 2 and 3, you take it.
You take it.
Love the night games though. I'm very excited for that.
Well, for you, now you like them, but
I love them.
I hate them. The 10 o'clock games.
No. This is the thing.
I try to put them on.
The Kings is 10, but the other ones are 9 and 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Kind of
That's
nice.
perfect. Yeah, you can do that because you get the kids to bed, and then
Get
you're
the
like,
kids
okay,
to bed.
yeah, you can start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Oh,
live. Yeah.
It's live. Oh, totally good.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Jets.
So anyway.
The Jets are one of the. This is the worst thing.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it
Why?
because it's so bad that it's so entertaining.
It's ridiculous.
It's almost gotten to comical levels. And man, if I was wrong on some of this, because there's so much comparison in my head the way I see things with the Nets, and this all stems from one guy, even though he didn't play.
Yep.
This all stems from Aaron Rodgers, all of it, because
Mike, what did I tell you in the offseason?
I see you said you wanted Lamar Jackson.
And why did I want Lamar Jackson?
Because he can help your team win.
Because he wouldn't come with this sideshow. Shit. And honestly, I got into the Aaron Rodgers stuff because of the offseason. I saw he bought in, he took less money, et cetera, and he got hurt. And it's not his fault. But just one thing had to go wrong, and it was a big thing.
It triggered everything else, though. It just steamrolled.
The
dominoes just went crazy. And a big domino was the Nathaniel Hackett thing because he sucks.
Saleh sucks.
Saleh sucks.
Boyle sucks.
Zach sucks.
Simeon sucks. Mark Ripien sucks.
I have a weird feeling Zach this weekend is gonna fucking let it loose and have a great game for real.
I don't.
I just have this hunch. Like I'm contemplating him in daily fantasy because I think it's I think he's gonna have like 300 yards and 5 picks and just like let it fucking loose.
Mm-hmm.
You're so over the Jets. I can't even.
I can't.
You're looking at text messages. I can't even engage.
Because I'm getting Soto text messages now from friends and stuff like that. So, but
whatever.
it's honestly, you know, my dickhead Yankees fan friends. That's what I'm talking about. But honestly, it's just he sucks. And like Gio said it on WFN on the morning show recently. If Zach Wilson sucks, but Gio said it and made the comparison. Like, just because you're the best shitty quarterback in a room of shitty quarterbacks doesn't make you the best. They make you good. Just because he said something like, just because in a group of 90-year-olds you can jump the highest doesn't mean that you're athletic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, you know, it's you still suck, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you threw for 80 yards in the last game and you got benched. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just the last game he played. It's just.
Well, I think
I'm
for him,
so over it. Maybe this is the game. It doesn't matter.
No,
it just doesn't matter anymore. CJ Stroud's going to rip this team apart. It's going to be one of those games. The Jets aren't going to score a touchdown and be like, why the fuck am I watching this game?
It's crazy.
You know, it's just what's going to happen.
I mean, this Joe Beningo thing too with the
the
coach. I just can't get enough.
It's amazing.
Just can't get enough of it.
It's amazing, and he just has no idea. No idea. He's just like, well, I'm gonna read it anyway. The text message.
Oh my god,
I love Joe. Joe Beningo is like one of my radio idols, though. I don't want to make fun of him, like he really is. But
it's at the end of the day, just a bad decision.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't. He's just he's not too old. I don't want to say that. He's not technologically savvy. Where he just doesn't
get
a
technological thing.
But he just doesn't get like. This isn't for public consumption. Like somebody's texting you something. Like, I guess.
But you think he doesn't understand that text messages are personal?
I don't know. I'm just trying to I'm trying to rationalize why he would read Rob Saleh's text messages on the air.
Could you imagine if I went on like a Net Nick podcast and I was like, let me read these personal texts from Alex, and then where you were just saying something about whatever. I'm not saying you do, but you know what my point.
Maybe I do.
Could you imagine if I did that? You go to you drive to New Jersey and go, what the fuck are you doing?
I would just be like, we're not doing Bad Word of the Fans anymore. We're not even get to 200. That's it. It's over. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, I get it.
I just thought it.
I think what he thought he was saying wasn't so bad. I think it was something like that. You know what I mean? But I think he wasn't thinking. I don't know.
I just can't get enough of it.
I laughed when he said to one of the people he was on with. I don't know if it was Tiki and Tiki
every
and
show
Evan
anyway,
or Ed Gio and Boomer. I'm putting the host backwards, but I don't know if it was what show it was at this point. But he said he has a flip phone still, so he probably has one of those free flip phones. So he's like texting 555.
Yeah.
6-6-3-3, 2. Oh my God. I used to crush it with that shit though back in the day, man. Like after a while you can drive and text without even looking at your phone. You know what I mean? You're pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
Were you good at Snake, by the way, on the Nokias? Remember
I
Snake?
got
The
good.
game?
Yeah.
I'm
I
awesome.
got good.
I was awesome at that game.
Considering I wasn't hanging out with girls yet and was all alone. Yeah.
Well, I'm in class. I wasn't paying attention. I was playing Snake.
Yeah, I was just that. Yeah. No,
You were
I
paying
got
attention,
decent. I got decent at it. Yeah, Snake. You probably get the app on your phone now. I'm sure there's an
I'm
app for
sure.
Snake.
It's not the same though. It's not the same. And now it's all
No, it's definitely not
digitized
the
and
same
all
because you
like-
can
it's
play
like a-
Super Mario Brothers 12 in the app over.
Yeah, exactly. We play Snake. There's a line going across. Like,
Yeah,
fucking-
Snake was fun.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Soto's
Bad Weather
Yankee.
Fans, episode 198, episode 200, or no, 198. Yeah, wait, hold
198.
on. Yeah, so this is it. Did I start the show off correctly? I am so fudged up on my numbers. So this is
Let's redo the whole
198.
show right now because you might have messed up the
Yeah,
number.
this is 198. Because what had happened was
What happened?
I was all geeked out because I thought we were going to land our 200th episode on Anxiety Night of Net Knicks. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Like episode 200, it was meant to be. And then I looked it up. I'm like, it'll be 199. Whoops.
Yeah.
So I think the numbers of
Whoopsies.
the episode is kind of all discombobulated in my head right now.
That's okay. Just download the episodes, guys, and let us keep doing this thing.
Bad Weather Fans, episode 198. Thank you for everybody that participated in Alex's Twitter poll questionnaire, especially what was the guy's name? Knicks fan 69.
Knicks all day 69.
Knicks all day 60. So is the Knicks all day or is the 69ing all day?
I think it's Knicks all day 69. I think he's 69s with the Knicks all day. I think that's really
No, I
what
see.
it
I think it's the Knicks and then the 69ing is all day. That's how I interpreted it.
Knicks, comma, all day 69. All right, is that what you're saying?
All right.
That's what
fair enough. Download the podcast. We appreciate all of the support. Check out the backlog categories of all our great guests that have been on the show as we continue to push this forward. Knicks 12-8 on the season. They lose to the Milwaukee Bucks the other night. Brooklyn Nets, if you're listening to this, they just get. Why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking about the Knicks all day 69. I just keep thinking about it. Just popped in my head again.
All right.
I'm
Nets winners versus the Hawks. Trae Young shot did not go in. Thank God. Mikal Bridges a beast with 32 points. Spencer Dinwiddie 7 of 102 from the field, but the Nets do get the win. Alex, we'll talk to you later as I run out of steam to end the show. Goodbye, buddy.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
You're welcome.